Hey folks, welcome to my DIY Halloween video on how I put together this deer monster or Wendigo. When I was a kid, this was something that really inspired me. Late in the night, we told stories about this thing when I was a little kid on the farm, and it really was creepy and just a lot of fun. So as an adult, I decided I wanted to try making what was in my imagination. I started out by blocking out a lot of the shapes with just bits of cardboard and masking tape, and then covering it with some cellulose clay. And then once it gets to a certain point, you do have to remove that from the form, or you'll lose, maybe possibly ruin some of the details as you get into some of the finer details on the face. This creature, I've heard in stories from anything from the movie Antlers to Revenant to there was a great story by Algernon Blackwood called Wendigo, where they meet with this creature, and of course it has a lot of its background in Native American myth. However, for me, this is inspired more by all of the various media that I've seen since I was a kid. I covered that in the head in some latex, and then used some wood stain to bring out the colors and textures of my sculpt. And it really gives a neat look to the skin. And here it was almost finished. I did try to add in some paper clay eyes there because I felt like the cavities weren't quite enough. I did use some paint on the teeth, and I bought some 3/4 inch PVC to build a frame from. Once the frame was in place, I used a heat gun to sort of bend it into some more organic shapes.
And at this point, we had most
to
of
increase
the frame,
the bends in the arms and the knees whenever just the PVC connectors weren't quite severe enough bends. And you can see here it was just about ready to start bulking out the body. I built a rib cage out of additional paper, and then using Loctite foam, I covered all of the paper to give it strength and interest. This has a great unusual texture once it has an opportunity to dry. I used pool noodles to bulk out some of the legs, and then created the hands from some cardboard and additional Loctite foam. You just spray on the Loctite, spray it with some water, wait for about 4 minutes, and it becomes sculptable for a period of time. And it's an inexpensive and simple way to really make some really neat shapes. He was a little bit too naked, so I took some craft fur and started furring the groin area and the backs of the shoulders and his back. I felt like that really made it look more natural, like an animal. And I hot glued it in place and then took paint and started weathering it. I wanted to create some big, frightening claws for him, and I just cut those out of EVA floor mats, and then sculpted them with a little bit of heat and a knife as well. I then took some paper clay and went around those claws once they were in place to make them look like they were growing out of the hands instead of just glued on top. I painted the extremities, and I called the creature done. If you like this sort of thing, please feel free to like, subscribe, follow along. I'm going to continue to post Halloween DIYs and overviews of random creature videos whenever I have the opportunity. I hope you enjoy this sort of thing, and I did want to talk to you about one more thing.
So many people have been afraid of the monster coming to life in the dark, and frankly, it's late right now, and I just wanted to show you guys that. Oh shit, where did it go? Oh my